compound exercises with dumbbells to help you lose fat and gain muscle. If you are a beginner to strength training and you work out at home and only have access to dumbbells, or you're a rookie in a gym and you want to know what exercises you should be doing to get the most bang for your buck for each and every strength training session. In this video, I'm going to break down what are compound exercises, also known as compound lifts, why they should be the backbone of your strength training program. Then I'm going to go over the best compound exercises that you can be doing with dumbbells to build strength, build lean muscle, decrease body fat, aka a body recomposition, and of course, just function better in life. Then once I've gone over the top compound exercises you should be doing, I'm going to explain a little bit about how you can work these exercises into your daily or weekly strength training program. So this is a highly requested video from the video I posted previously talking all about compound lifts, where I'm referring more to barbell exercises. If you are looking to work your way up to using the barbell, these dumbbell compound exercises are a great way to get started, to build up your strength, to work up towards doing all of these compound lifts with the barbell. So of course, if you haven't watched that video yet and you want to know what you can be working your way up to, check out that video right here. I'll link that in the description below. Okay, we're gonna get right into what the benefits of compound exercises are. But of course, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell to be notified when I release a new video every single week, just like this one. If you find this video helpful, make sure you give it a like and leave any questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to help you guys out. So what are compound exercises anyway? Compound exercises are exercises that work more than one muscle group at the same time. So in a way, you're getting more bang for your buck, burning more calories, recruiting more muscle fibers, and teaching your muscles to work together simultaneously. They often mimic movements that we do in everyday life, therefore help you function better in your everyday life and reduce the risk of injury. Compound exercises versus isolation exercises. An isolation exercise would be something like a bicep curl, where you are only working one muscle group. So when you are doing your bicep curl, you are only working one muscle group. Those are not bad. They have their place in every single workout. So in a compound exercise, the benefit of working more than one muscle group at a time is you are getting more out of each and every exercise, especially if you are limited in time for your workouts. But that's just the gist as to why we want to be doing compound exercises. I also talk more about how you can incorporate your compound exercises and your isolation exercise and put them all together in a workout in this video I created right here, teaching you how to build your own training plan for the gym or for home. So I'll link that one in the description below as well if you want to go check that out next. What are my top 7 compound exercises that you should be doing on a regular basis, or some variation of these exercises, to really start to build lean muscle, get stronger, and decrease body fat? Just one thing, I'm not going to go over sets and rep ranges and rest time in this video when it comes to the compound exercise I'm going to talk about. I already went over all of your sets and reps and rest time and explained it all in this video here. I'll link that in the description below. So if you want to know more about how many reps you should be doing of these exercises, go check that video out after you watch this one. Number 1, squats. I'm going to show you in this video 2 ways that you can perform your dumbbell squats. You can hold one dumbbell in a goblet position, and this is called a goblet squat. You're going to be standing with your feet about shoulder width apart, elbows tucked in, holding that dumbbell nice and tight. You're going to push your hips back and down, drop down into your squat. On the way up, you will be squeezing your glutes and driving your heels into the floor. You also want to make sure you're engaging your core muscles and watching for any rotation through your pelvis. You can also take 2 dumbbells and put them in the rack position up on your shoulders, still performing the squat the exact same way, but just watching that your chest doesn't cave forward and that you keep your posture nice and tall. Squats are a great exercise because 1, they are very functional when it comes to daily activity in life. There are also many other ways to perform a dumbbell squat, such as holding both dumbbells at your sides. You can also put a chair behind you and use that as a marker to know that you got low enough into your squat. You can either sit right down on the chair, or you can just tap your bum to the chair, drive through your heels, and squeeze your glutes on the way up. I often use that technique when people are just learning proper form, is literally holding a dumbbell at your sides or holding in that goblet position, sitting down in your chair, driving up using your glutes and driving those heels into the ground. Once you feel more confident in that position, you can push the chair away and start doing your squats without the chair. If you're watching this channel, I'm presuming you probably work out and you probably sweat at least a few times a week. So I just want to take a minute to tell you about today's video sponsor, Element. They're one of my favorite go-tos for replenishing electrolytes after a sweaty workout, and a great way to refuel your electrolytes morning after a few glasses of wine. Element has the perfect balance of 100 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And even better, zero sugar or added artificial sweeteners and junk. There are so many different flavors, including my favorite, citrus salt. It tastes just like a margarita, raspberry salt, watermelon salt, and even an unflavored option. Element can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and so many other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. Right now, Element is offering my viewers right here on YouTube a free sample pack of Element with any purchase. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Michelle. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/Michelle. And I'll put that link in the description for you guys to go check out some Element. Compound exercise number 2, deadlifts. My all-time ultimate favorite. You can get just as much muscle recruitment from using dumbbells as you can from a barbell. Obviously, the only difference is you're restricted as to how much weight you can actually lift when doing dumbbell deadlifts versus stacking a bunch of plates on a barbell. But if you are just a beginner, you can get really strong and still build lots of muscle by challenging yourself with a dumbbell deadlift. So there are many different variations of hinging deadlift type exercises that you can do, and they are all classified as compound exercises. In this video here, I'm doing a dumbbell RDL, so a Romanian deadlift. See how I'm starting with the dumbbells at the side of my legs, and I'm going to slowly push my hips back and lower the dumbbells down the front of my legs, almost pretty much touching my legs. My upper traps are relaxed, so my shoulders are away from my ears, and I'm staring a few inches in front of me to ensure that I maintain a neutral spine throughout the entire exercise. And I'm gonna lower down until I feel tension throughout my hamstrings and my glutes. Once I feel that tension point, I'm going to act as if I'm driving my heels down into the ground. At the same time I'm pushing my heels down, I am squeezing my glutes and hamstrings to drive my body back up to starting position. But the one form tip that I try to tell every single person that is often forgotten, especially on the way back up to start position, make sure your body weight is in your heels and squeeze through that tension. You wanna feel it, what I call the shelf. So you have your bum and then your legs. So the shelf right here, that is where you should be feeling a lot of the tension. And on the way up, you're gonna squeeze through that tension, clench your glutes together and stand back up straight. Not till you've hyperextended your back. You wanna just make sure you're coming back up to straight position and then you're hinging back. Again, sticking your glutes out as if you're pushing them back towards a wall. But if you want to learn more about deadlift forms specifically, check out this video I already have on my channel, breaking down all in more detail about how to do a proper deadlift. I'll link that video in the description below as well. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell chest press, a great alternative to a barbell bench press. And the benefit of doing a dumbbell chest press versus actually a barbell chest press is you're forcing each arm to work individually versus a barbell bench press where there could be some compensation between the stronger arm and the weaker arm. So if you're working out at home and all you have is dumbbells and you don't even have a bench, you can lay on a mat on the floor doing a dumbbell chest press. You can lift both dumbbells at the same time. You can also alternate. You're gonna get a little bit more core activation and you can focus on one arm at a time. If you have a bench, you can also do this laying on a bench. Make sure you're gripping the dumbbells right above your chest, not above your neck, and lower the dumbbells down to about a 45-degree angle at your elbows, either parallel or a few inches just below your chest and pressing back up. Exercise number 4, a dumbbell bent over row or a single arm dumbbell row. So one of the best compound exercises for your upper body and your upper back muscles, of course, is a pull-up or a chin-up. And I talk all about those in my other videos. But of course, if you're just starting out and you're not strong enough to do chin-ups or pull-ups, or you're not confident enough to go do some band assisted pull-ups at the gym, starting with bent over dumbbell rows or a single arm dumbbell row is a great way to begin to build your upper back strength and your total upper body strength. So in the dumbbell bent over row, you wanna be in a similar hinge position as you are when you're doing a dumbbell deadlift. So no rounding of your shoulders. You wanna try and have a neutral spine. Dumbbells are gonna be a little bit in front of your thighs and you're going to retract your upper traps so shoulders are pulled away from your ears so you're not all scrunched up, and rowing those dumbbells back towards your hips, trying to activate your lats. The lats are the muscles right underneath your armpits. So they are one of the biggest muscles in the back. As you're rowing, you're going to be pulling towards your hips, squeezing your lats. Again, you have the option to row both dumbbells at the same time, or you can alternate rowing one dumbbell at a time. Now, if you find you start to feel these in your lower back, or you don't yet feel strong enough through your core to hold this position and lift heavy with your bent over row, you can also try a single arm dumbbell row. So I'm gonna talk about two different options of your single arm dumbbell row in this video today. One where you're resting your knee on the bench, you're in a nice stable position. Make sure your shoulder is right on top of your wrist. You're gonna row that one dumbbell up towards your hip, squeezing your lat, squeezing right inside your shoulder blade and making sure your upper trap, so your shoulder is relaxed and away from your ear. This is also another great exercise. And if you don't have a bench at home and you only have, say, a chair, you can try a 3-point stance dumbbell row as well, where you're just putting your one hand on a chair, on a box, on an ottoman, on the couch, whatever you have access to, using that as your stabilization point and performing your 3-point dumbbell row. Exercise number 5, an overhead press. So there are, again, so many different variations. I'm gonna talk about an Arnold press from a standing and a seated position, as well as one of my favorites, shoulder press. So with the Arnold press, you are adding a little bit of a rotation. You're gonna recruit a few more muscles in this movement. You are starting with your wrists facing towards you, core nice and tight. And as you lift the dumbbells up over your head, you're going to be rotating so that your wrists are then facing away from you at the top and towards you at the bottom. You're going to continue to press up and down, making sure that when you get to full extension at the top, you are not arching your lower back. If you are, the option 1 is to modify that by lifting one arm at a time or decreasing your weight so that you're able to stabilize your core at the same time you're pressing overhead. Another option is to also go from a seated position, but still making sure that you are not arching your back at the top and keeping your core muscles engaged. Second option for an overhead press that is a bit more shoulder friendly is just a conventional shoulder press with the dumbbells. This is a great place to start. Again, with the options of lifting both at the same time or one at a time, depending on your personal preference and how each of them feel on your shoulders. One very, very important form tip when performing an overhead press is when you're here, when you're pressing overhead, make sure this doesn't happen. So shoulders should be relaxed, upper trap should be as relaxed as you can. When your dumbbells are here, you're pressing overhead, not doing this. So keep your upper traps relaxed while you're doing your overhead presses. Compound exercise with dumbbells, number 6 is a farmer carry. So I also added this exercise in my other compound lift video because it is so important and often very forgotten in any strength training program. Farmer carries are great for building your grip strength if your goal is to get stronger in deadlifts, in dumbbell rows, in barbell deadlifts, in pull-ups, chin-ups, and just again, to be able to open jars and function better in life. Also a great core exercise and work your entire lower body. It works almost every muscle in your body. Again, a very, very functional exercise. If you're looking here at the farmer carry, how many times do you walk out of the grocery store doing this exact movement? We carry things all the time, and focusing on building strength in these specific movements will really help you not only build muscle, get stronger, it will help you in your other big lifts, but also just function in life with less worry of injuring yourself at the grocery store. Picking up your kids, mamas out there, I don't know how many times I carry both my kids, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, up and down the stairs or around the house, or having to pick them up at the grocery store, wherever it is. And I honestly say to myself every single day, how do people do this who don't lift weights? I would have blown my back out like 30 times already. But if you're working out from home and you don't necessarily have a lot of space to be doing long farmer carries, maybe you're in a small basement room or a bedroom or wherever it is, and you don't have room to walk around with your dumbbells, another option that I like to give people is what I call farmer carry marching or farmer marching. So where you are still in that farmer carry position, holding both dumbbells at your sides, but instead of walking forward, you're just focusing on marching in spot. So coming up till your knee and hip are at 90 degrees, your ankle is at 90 degrees, holding for half a second and coming back down. So what you're watching for here is that there's no instability through your hips. You are trying to maintain a stable core, and again, stability through your hips while performing the motion. You're still gonna be working your grip strength, and really it's a little bit even more intense on your core than an actual farmer carry. So again, if you don't have a lot of room, give these ones a try as well. And the 7th and last compound exercise I highly recommend is either a reverse lunge or a step up. So a unilateral exercise, holding dumbbells at your sides to help build single leg strength, stability, core strength. Again, it will challenge multiple muscle groups at a time, get your heart rate going, and help you get stronger in your other compound lifts. So just like all the other exercises, when it comes to lunges or step-ups, so many different variations. Here I'm just showing a dumbbell reverse lunge. So when you're doing this exercise, you really want to step back and make sure your front knee is not going over your toe. And again, just like in the deadlift, on the way back up, you are driving that front heel into the ground to activate that glute and drive back up. There also is an option to add the stability factor where you are coming up with a knee drive and you are forcing that hip and that glute to stabilize you before coming back down. That just adds a little bit of extra difficulty. And of course, you're gonna work your core and your stability a little bit more in that exercise. Now, again, you can do a forward lunge, you can do lateral lunges, you can do walking lunges. There are so many different lunges, but if you are doing lunges and you feel some kind of pain in your knee, step-ups are a great alternative. Putting one foot on a bench or a box or a step, whatever height you feel comfortable with, making sure, again, whatever foot is on the bench, you are driving through that heel, not putting your body weight in your toe, squeezing that glute and driving yourself back up. Harder, you're holding dumbbells. The heavier the dumbbells, the harder it's gonna be. You can also add the same knee drive that we did in the reverse lunge to add a bit more of stability factor. Now that's the top 7 best compound exercises with dumbbells. I just wanna add one little pointer in here, and something that I like to do all the time is sometimes you can start to combine a few of these exercises into a different compound exercise. For example, a squat with an overhead press is a great compound exercise. You are recruiting even more muscles than you're doing in a squat. So depending on what your workout structure looks like, you can also do here, I'm showing you a reverse lunge, add a bicep curl, add an overhead press. And you're repeating that. So again, recruiting more muscle fibers, it's gonna get your heart rate up, it's gonna help you hit more muscle groups in a shorter period of time. So that's just another one extra bonus thing to remember is you're not stuck in this bubble of only doing specific compound exercises. Combining some of these exercises into bigger lifts is totally fine as well. But I think that's for a separate video. If you are just a beginner, start adding those 7 compound lifts into your workouts. And that's what I'm gonna talk about now. How are we gonna add these into our workout? My best advice is if you are doing an upper and lower split, pick about 2 or 3 compound exercises per workout, 2 or 3 upper body, 2 or 3 lower body compound exercises, and then fill in the rest of your workout with what we call accessory work. So isolation exercises, core exercises, plyometrics, stability, again, depending on your specific goals. But my best advice is take these compound exercises, once you've created your strength training plans, is keep track of your reps and your weights and follow progressive overload. So each week you are trying to increase your weights or you're trying to increase your reps in each of these exercises and continuing to challenge yourself. And that's how you're going to get stronger. That's how you're going to get leaner. I talk all about progressive overload in this video right here. I'll link that in the description below as if you want to know how to really get the results that you want to look leaner and decrease body fat. Doing the same weight over and over and over again is not going to get you there. So take it upon yourself to educate yourself. I've got all the information for you on my channel already. So there you go, guys. That's all about compound exercises with dumbbells you can do at home or the gym to help you decrease body fat and increase lean muscle. As always, I hope this video was helpful. Give it a like if you found it helpful. Leave your questions below. If you're interested in my 8-week strength training program, I'll leave some information in the description below as well. It's an 8-week done for you strength training program. You can follow along in my app. There's 3-day split and 4-day split options, one for the gym and one for dumbbells only. It's a great way to get started and learn how to follow a progressive strength training program to get stronger in these compound exercises and see what a full strength training program would look like. If you're interested in learning more about my one-on-one online fitness and nutrition coaching, I'll also put a link in the description below as to where you can find out more about working with me one-on-one to reach your fitness and fat loss goals. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.